So the Bucks wrap up their first back-to-back. They split it. 128 to 100, the final. Doc Rivers sitting most of his regular rotation starters the entire fourth quarter. We'll get a 2-day rest coming into Friday.
Boy, it felt worse than that, didn't it?
I'm pretty sure everyone slept through the game.
Jeez. Thanks. So happy to be watching the NBA. What's up, Wisconsin? Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh is on your radio statewide on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. You heard the dismay. 128-100. Bucks lose in like ugly fashion.
Yeah.
I'm on record saying it's not easy to watch to begin with, but I'm all on the Giannis train. Let's watch what Giannis does and all the things. What was that?
Apparently, when they say that back-to-backs are really tough, this is what they're talking about. I mean, I understand you just came from Indy and now you're flying to Toronto and you're playing a game again the next night, but it felt like to me like the Bucks didn't even plan on trying to win that game. They just looked at it on the calendar and went, oh man. And then right after this one, we really want to win in Indy. We got to go to Toronto. All right. Well, that's a loss.
I wonder if Customs treated them like they treated the Dodgers when they were on their way out of Toronto. Yeah. Apparently it's not real easy to get in and get out of there right now, especially with the W.
No, apparently not.
Wowza. All right. Well, flush it, right? That's what we say.
Yeah.
When things like that go that way, you just hit it and move on.
I don't even feel like it was that disappointing of a loss because no one cared. I didn't feel like the team cared. I don't feel like fans cared. It was just, we were all still riding high from beating Indy, and then just there's another basketball game right away.
That's how we ended the show yesterday.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah, they're going to play again. Apparently, the Bucks had the same thought.
Jeez. All right, so now on to the NBA Cup that starts on Friday. That interests me. Like, I'm actually pretty proud of the NBA for coming up with that because now I'm sucked back into, all right, let's play a tournament. I like tournaments. I like winners, clear losers. Not that games don't give you that, but it's different. We can all agree on that.
Absolutely. And Bucks have won that, baby. That helps too.
That does help. All right. Flush the Bucks game is what it is. They play again on Friday. Big show today. Guests galore.
Yeah.
Did you see the Brewers arbitration stuff yesterday?
I saw that there was a lot of it.
Here we go again. Like, I'm really trying hard not to here we go again. But boy, does this feel like here we go again. And there's been a number of Brewers that have come and gone from arbitration. This isn't something new. It's not something that was just invented. Players know this is going to happen. But do it once, shame on you. Do it twice, shame on me. And so we need help understanding what is the mindset when it comes to all of this arbitration stuff. So I literally texted Jeff Levering last night, and I was like, Jeff.
Hey, Jeff.
Can you come on the show tomorrow morning and explain arbitration to me and Josh, please?
Yeah. Yeah, because I don't understand it. I feel like there should be a lesson in math classes in high school, college. Just understanding why all this works the way it does, how it works. And anyone out there, like, you either get it or you have no clue how this actually works.
You can read it 1,000 times.
Yes.
I've tried. I still don't completely understand the arbitration thing. I even said, Chat GPT, will you break this down for me, please?
Yeah, what'd they say?
I can't. I don't know. It said, call Jeff Levering.
Yeah.
So hopefully Jeff is going to be able to help us understand. It's not that I don't understand arbitration. It's the mindset of the Brewers. Adam McKelvey, we're going to talk about him every single day in the offseason, apparently. Great article, again, on MLB.com. He uses the words, it's a business move for the Brewers.
Yes.
Culture matters, bruh.
Yeah, so that's the big aspect of it and the decision they made. There's also, like, the rules with arbitration. And is the whole arbitration process just as fans, are we overreacting to something that the majority of the time players know is just part of the process because they understand it and we don't?
Well, it apparently depends on what's said in the hearing, because I went back and found that audio from Corbin Burns. We're going to hear that at the top of the 7 before we get with Jeff. That does not sound like just a part of the process to me.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like that was completely unnecessary. I can't believe they said what they said in that hearing. That was bad.
It was.
That was really bad.
It was. It wasn't a good look for either party. That's stuff that you want handled, behind closed doors.
How was that a bad look for Corbin Burns back then?
Well, because he whined about it.
No, he didn't. It was.
Yeah, he did.
Did he whine though?
Yes.
Or was he just being transparent? Okay, he whined. All right.
He whined. That was one of the big knocks on him. That's why when people said we have to decide if the Brewers could, on a Would You Rather Wednesday, the question back then was Corbin Burns or Brandon Woodruff, if you could only keep one. And everyone went Woody because of the care of his character and who Woody was in comparison to Burns that was making bigger deals about this. You can voice your frustration without, coming out at spring training and being interviewed and talking about it like the way he did.
We'll listen to it again at 7:00 and decide if he was whining or if he was just sharing what happened in the arbitration hearing, because apparently it was ugly. And ironically, here we are again with William Contreras, in case you missed it. Yesterday, the Milwaukee Brewers announced more moves that we knew were coming, yet weren't sure how they were going to go, even though we had a pretty decent idea. Rhys Hoskins, Jose Quintana, free agents, moving on.
Mm-hmm.
William Contreras had this buyout system / arbitration piece in place, and at the end of the day, they're going to arbitration, what appears to be over $900,000. Now, pause. That's a lot of money. I understand. Yes. However, if you're going to play the budget game and figure out what the percentage of salary it is, just on, let's say, a $50,000 salary, we're talking between $3,000 and $4,000.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot of money, yet in the grand scheme of things, it makes the Brewers look cheap. And I don't know if that's fair or not.
Weird. Is that how it makes them look? That's the first time I've ever heard anyone say that the Brewers organization might be cheap.
Well, but that hurts because you try really hard to have their back. No, we're a small market team. No, we're this. We're never going to have the biggest payroll. But do we have to be cheap? Because it feels like we're being cheap, and I'm not sure it's necessary, especially for a guy that caught as often as he did this, like powering through. This is what you want your players to do. He powered through a literal black and blue broken finger on his catching hand all season long. I'm not that tough.
Oh, absolutely not.
Some might say I'm soft. I'll take it. I talk into a microphone for a living.
Yeah,
we
don't deal with those type of problems.
No. Paper cuts.
Still hurt.
We're going to see. We'll talk to Jeff and figure out what's going on with all the arbitration stuff with the Brewers. After Jeff, one of my new favorite segments on this show, Would You Rather Wednesday. I just love asking Josh questions that make him squirm. And I think I came up with a couple good ones today.
Oh, good. That's perfect.
We'll see what you say as well on the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text line, 414-677-1250. You're already chiming in. The 920 says, he whined. Players aren't supposed to attend those hearings. Teams are supposed to either cut the player down and or specifically when cheap teams like the Brewers get involved with that. Here's the problem. We talk about character, and Corbin Burns came out then and talked about how they did nothing against his character in the arbitration hearing. This is about performance. And it's one side versus the other. It's a hearing in front of people that will make a decision for you. I have never been in the court of law. I have no intentions of ever being in said court of law. But it sounds a little like a trial.
Yeah.
A pre-trial anyway, because it's never supposed to get that far. The hearing is as far as it ever gets. A decision is made and you move on. But Corbin Burns came out, and you're going to hear it in the audio. Remember, they made it seem like it was his fault that they didn't make the postseason back then in 2022. That's weird. That gets ugly. That gets hurtful. And if that's how this stuff goes, maybe I'm just trying to speak this into existence. Please don't piss off William Contreras.
Yeah.
We need him. We like him.
I mean, it's so much more than just an incredible player. He is that leadership role, especially if we're going to rely on more young talent next year and in the following season. But that's one of the big things that I'm excited we're gonna have Jeff on to discuss. Is just okay. So what exactly happened? What does that mean for the future? Does that mean that like we're gonna be worrying about this all next season to then do it all again during the following offseason? Like where does this put us?
Well, it doesn't trend well. I mean, if we were to just look at some examples of arbitration and how it's gone for the Brewers, let me know if any of these names are still with the club. Corbin Burns.
No.
Gone. Brandon Woodruff.
No.
Gone. Willie Adames.
No.
Devin Williams.
No.
Josh Hader.
No.
Okay, now what? I know. That's my question. So we'll ask Jeff at 7 o'clock. 8 o'clock, the head coach of UW Green Bay's men's basketball team, Doug Gottlieb, joins us again. This might become a regular thing. Doug's a buddy of mine, and he's entertaining as all get out.
Yeah, and I'm impressed he wanted to come back. Because
why, did it go bad last night?
Well, I'm just after yesterday, we were celebrating the start of college basketball, and you're like, yeah, well,
one of these things.
Now we'll talk to the coach.
If you had expectations, they were disappointments waiting to happen, especially against Kansas.
Yeah.
But let's talk to him about that, because we did bring that up yesterday about what it is about a team like Green Bay going to Kansas. Doesn't make much sense to me other than a paycheck. I'm going to ask him. There's money involved, Doug. Let's not ignore the fact that Green Bay gets a paycheck. It is what it is. So we'll talk to him about that. And then I'm super stoked for this one. 8:25 today. We're going to chat with the public address announcer for Marquette men's basketball, Mike Jakubowski. Have you been to a Marquette men's game? They are entertaining as all get out. The atmosphere is electric, specifically before the game and when Marquette just puts on a show. And I love how he introduces himself and the atmosphere that he brings to the games. And Josh, you shared with me that he just got a ball presented to him for his 500th game.
500th game.
That's incredible. That's a lot.
Yep.
It's a lot of nights. It's a lot of weekends. I did it for 7 seasons, and I'm not doing it anymore. That's a long time. 500. How many home games? 15-ish, maybe including a couple postseason games. I was told there would be no math, but that's
a lot of math. I mean,
that 20 years.
Well,
plus?
you have it's men's and I think men's and women's.
Oh, does he do women's too?
Yeah, but I thought it'd be so. I know Mike as well through Mike, and anyone who's a big fan of professional bowling and watches the PBA Tour would also be familiar with who Mike J is. And he, so I was like, oh, I know him from bowling. I was like, you guys can nerd out about PA, for basketball games with you both being in that world. And so I thought it'd be interesting. I'm looking forward to just listening to you two talk about, what you guys, the prep, what you guys do. It's a unique job that I don't feel like a lot of people realize what goes into it.
I'm glad you said that, because I can't help but watch when I'm in arenas, the broadcast team and or the public address announcer team. Like when I walk into County Stadium back in the day, or Miller Park, or now AmFam Field, I was always very curious as to what was going on up in the boxes where the announcers were, where the public address announcer was. I have amazing memories of Bob Betts announcing Robin Yount and then repeating 19 Yount. Do you remember that from when you were a kid?
Absolutely.
That's when it was less about the show and just more about the play. Now it has to be about both. Green Bay had their first home game last week in the Horizon League, and they did the toilet paper toss. When Green Bay scored their first points, every fan in attendance had a roll of toilet paper, and they threw it on the floor. That's part of the show, right?
Yep.
Interestingly enough, what's funny about that is Doug Gottlieb burned a timeout right before that happened. So timeout, they score, another timeout. Could have saved that one.
Could have saved it.
Just score.
Hey, Trevor, I know that I have questions coming up next.
Yeah.
Do you mind if we get to a question before I have questions?
Sure. Go ahead.
There's one here on the Nicolay Law fan talking text line from the 920 that said, "Hey, good morning, fellas. Trevor, did your wife make it through her first day back at work in normal pants? How was your day yesterday, bud?"
Okay. In case you missed it, my wife was back to work yesterday for the first time since the end of September. Her appendix burst. It was a really rough road for a little bit there. She had sepsis. I don't want to say we almost lost her, but a lot of people don't come home.
Yeah,
from
very
having
scary.
sepsis.
Very scary.
It was very scary. So yesterday, typically when she gets to work, it's more of a, hey, let you know I'm here, I'm safe, I'm parked, I'm walking in type of thing, whatever. So I usually get a text that says, "Parked like a boss. Love you. Have a great day." Right? Yesterday, the text said, "I'm here, I'm wearing a bra, and I have real pants on." And I thought that would be funny to share. And it was. Until she got home yesterday. And I was downstairs in the basement checking on the progress of us starting to wonder what our basement looks like from a finished perspective. And I hear upstairs, "Hey, boys," to our sons, "ask Dad why he's about to get killed."
Oh,
And I hid.
did you?
Yeah. So the 13-year-old, the youngest, was with me. His name is Riker. He looked at me and he goes, "What'd you do?" And I'm like, I got to be honest, I'm not sure what she's talking about.
You had forgot?
I didn't. Well, it's not that I forgot. I just wasn't connecting my death with what I couldn't quite figure out what was murder worthy, but there I was. So I was downstairs and I literally looked at Riker and I said, "I think I need to hide." And so
It's got to be hard for you to hide too.
Well, I don't blend in well. I don't know. I hid around a corner or something like that. Riker was with me and Rhodey came downstairs and he's like, "What are you guys doing?" And I said, "Mom's going to kill me." And I don't know why. So we're just hiding. And he goes, "I like it." So both boys helped hide me. It was that godforsaken dog that gave my place away.
Oh, no.
And she found me. And I got squirted with a big bottle of water.
You're lucky it was just that.
And then you called and she answered, which I thought you were guilt by association there for a second.
Hey, listen, when I called to do like our evening prep and she answered the phone, my first thought was, all right, he's dead. That's it. That's why she's calling to let me know. Or she's picking up the phone to be like, "Hey, he's not going to be able to talk tonight, or tomorrow night, or the following night."
We laughed about it. I got some messages right when it happened from some friends that we have in Trempealeau or neighbors that we have, like, "Trevor, just spit out my coffee. I'm on Team Amanda." That was the first text I got. And then literally from other ones. And now the memes start with, the girl like slitting her own throat going, "I'm going to kill you." So anyway, love you, Amanda. Hope you had a great day back at work. Thank you for checking in on the Nicolay Law fan talking text line. She was good. Everything's good.
Yeah, they care.
Good. I am safe at home. I want you to know that.
Good.
I'm safe at home.
That's good.
All right. Onward we go. Up next on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, I have questions, and it's in regard to the report that came out yesterday about the Wisconsin Badgers football attendees during a season that is abysmal at best, and what we're still capable of on Wisconsin Indeed. It's Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Let's ask us some questions, shall we? You're just jamming out.
Sure am.
I talked twice while you were playing the song.
Oh, did you?
Like, yeah.
Sorry.
Not a clue. Didn't know I'm here. Hi.
Hi, buddy.
What are we listening to? Who is this?
This is Real Big Fish with Beer.
It's the topic of conversation in Madison. It's Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh live on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. I have questions about beer and drinks at Camp Randall. Here we go. A lot of people want to burn down Camp Randall Stadium right now. Things are not well.
True.
Let's not burn it down, but let's at least address some of the things that are happening, because it appears that Wisconsin is attempting to drink away their sorrows. Shocker. We do that fairly well here in Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
Time for I Have Questions, the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text Line, 414-677-1250. Get your questions in now. If there's something that popped up where you're like, that doesn't make sense. What's going on there? So, Josh, here is my first question in I Have Questions. A report came out yesterday from something called Extra Points. It's a website. Matt Brown wrote an article. He filed an open records request with 45 public institutions at the start of October, asking for their total alcohol unit sales numbers for home games across August and September, as well as their total revenue that they made from alcohol sales. If this is new to you, you now know that you can buy alcohol at some college campuses and at some venues. It was approved that that's a thing. And so he had 21 schools send information back. Josh, here's my question.
Okay.
Take a guess where Wisconsin ranks.
Numero uno.
Number one.
Yeah.
In our hearts and apparently at the bar in Camp Randall Stadium. This is nuts. So there was 20 schools that he listed out of the 21. The lowest one was Ball State University. Now, they make an excuse like, oh, Ball State only played 1 or 2 games in August or September, or only 2 home games, or whatever the case may be. Let's go all the way up to the top 3, shall we? In number 3, position, the University of Tennessee. Knoxville likes to get down.
Yep.
107,473 units sold of alcohol sales starting at the end of August through September, to the tune of $1.6 million. Remember that number.
Okay.
About $1.5 million. Coming in at number 2, the University of Nebraska. 168,293 units sold, to the tune of about $2 million.
Okay. 500,000 more.
Wisconsin. Did you look at this prior to us coming on the air?
I did not.
Take a guess how many units the Badgers sold in, by the way, I believe 3 home games. Yep. We played August 28th at Camp Randall against Miami of Ohio. We played September 6th against Middle Tennessee. Then we went to Alabama and then came back home to Camp Randall on September 20th against Maryland. How many units do you think we've sold?
Can you remind me again what number 2 was?
Yeah, Tennessee was 107,000. Number 2 at University of Nebraska was 168,000. Where do you think Wisconsin fall?
I'm going to say 313,000.
Not bad, buddy. 255,000.
Okay.
Now, guess the revenue. I said, remember 1.6.
Yep. And then number 2 was 2 mil. I'm going to say 3 mil.
3 mil.
Boom.
Just over $3 million in total revenue sales at the University of Wisconsin. Okay. This is no surprise to any of us that live here or grew up here.
Right.
Like, yay, us winning another drinking trophy.
Hey, you have any idea how many memes are out there about how hard Wisconsin drinks?
I love, there's a map that shows the drunkest counties in the country. And the black is the drunkest county and white is what's alcohol. And
Right.
the entire state of Wisconsin is black.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Except for this little spot that's white. And the meme says, "Oh, you think that's a county in Wisconsin that's dry? Nope, that's a lake.
That's a lake. That's why.
That's a lake. That's
Yeah.
Lake Winnebago."
Right.
And by the way, if you don't think we drink on Lake Winnebago, you're nuts.
Yeah.
Here's what blows my mind, because I'm not surprised about these stats either. This, though, is surprising when you start to break it down. This is inside Camp Randall Stadium. Have you ever been to a Badger game, Josh?
Yes.
Did you pregame?
I did. I did have 2 tree.
A lot.
Yeah.
Okay. I love day drinking. It's one of my favorite sports. Therefore, when you day drink, you typically then don't night drink.
No, you get sleepy.
And you go to bed.
Right.
That's the whole purpose of day drinking.
Yeah.
Camp Randall Stadium, August 28th against Miami of Ohio. The game started at 8 p.m.
Ooh.
The day drinking had been done.
Yeah, it was done hours ago.
And yet, look at us.
Well, but hold on. I got a theory there.
Go ahead.
Too much time in between day drinking and the game. You can mentally prepare yourself to day drink starting at 11 a.m., go until about 3 or 4, then take a quick little siesta, a little snooze, and be ready to go right back at it at night. If that game's at like 5 or 6, I bet it's not as. I bet you have less drinking than at 8.
Well, what about 3?
Okay,
because the next game started at 3 o'clock, and then the game after that, the 3 games that these stats came from, that was an 11 o'clock start. So 8 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 11 o'clock doesn't matter. We're gonna win the drinking trophy. Now, good luck to the rest of you. I just thought that stat was absolutely nuts because it shows that morning, afternoon, night doesn't matter. And it's by the way, I would reckon that it's probably the adults, because let's be honest, the college kids, they're drinking, period. Stop, end of sentence.
Yeah.
They're buying it inside, but I'm willing to bet that the majority of the beverage sales are from the rest of us.
Yeah, I don't know how many college kids are paying. I mean, I can't say that I've ever gotten a drink in Camp Randall, but I assume it's not, $4 for a beer.
Well, has that ever stopped me before?
I'm saying if I'm a college kid, it makes me change my plans of how I'm drinking.
True.
Yeah. But
right,
I'm not surprised by that. Yeah, I have questions. Trevor, my question for you this morning is, do other small market MLB teams also have these type of stories highlighted that show and go against the argument of them being cheap? Or is this just a Brewers thing? I honestly don't know. I know that it happens to the Brewers all the time. I know that there are plenty of situations with my team where they put themselves in the news for making decisions that just scream to the rest of the world, yeah, we're a cheap organization. I don't see that from other teams that are quote unquote small market teams. And I'm wondering, is that just because I'm not looking, or is it really just this is a Milwaukee thing more than it is any place else?
So I think what you're asking is, are other MLB teams that are in the area of where the Brewers fall in terms of their total annual salaries, do their fans view them as cheap too? Is that what you're asking?
Or just do they have examples of things to where you can look at it from a non-homer perspective and just go, well, that's a cheap move. That's a bad look.
Did you research anybody else in our neighborhood in regards to?
I didn't. That's why I had the question of trying to figure out and be curious if this is a homer view.
Give me a team that you would like to know.
The Rays, the Tampa Bay Rays.
I did see something the other day that came out and asked 100 players in Major League Baseball. This is back in June, of the teams and managers that they wanted to play for and didn't want to play for. And I couldn't believe all of the negative feedback about the Rays. So I'm not sure how their fans feel, but there was a lot of people that were like, we're not playing for them. I didn't see the Brewers and or our manager on any of the lists, which is probably the way we want it, right? Let's not worry about all of that. Let's stay off of those lists and just do what we do. So the Tampa Bay Rays, are you saying that they have a payroll like the Brewers do?
Yeah, I mean they're in I think like the bottom 5 in terms of market size. Kansas City is there, I know as well. But I'm just, Pittsburgh, I don't hear stories on like a national level about the decisions they make. Now, to be fair,
did you hear this on a national level?
Well, I mean, Jeff Passan was putting out multiple tweets talking about this, trying to answer questions of people saying, I don't understand this move from the Brewers with Contreras, and him saying, yeah, me either. And I'm just going, oh, man, come on. On a day when, he could be talking about any other team, and now it's, let's put the smallest market in a bad light because they're doing this.
We'll have to do some research and get back to you on whether or not the other teams feel and or have their fan base say, you and I can't be the only ones using the word cheap. And this has not been something that's been circled around. It's gone right at it from Brewers fans. It's also a business move, and that's what McCalvey said in his article on MLB.com. It is a business decision. I just don't quite understand the business decision specifically in regards to a player like William Contreras.
Mm-hmm. Well, and here's the other thing, too. When I talk about these other teams, I'm not saying about, going and pursuing free agent players. I get that. A lot of small market teams go through that issue. That's not the issue at hand here. The issue at hand is specifically about you have the player and it's just a bad look. And I feel like those happen a decent amount of times with the Brewers. I mean, how many times have we brought up the Mark Antanasio quote of, well, am I here to win a World Series or am I here to provide a fun, entertaining summer of baseball or whatever he said? Like those type of things. I don't see those quotes. I don't hear those quotes, but I don't know if maybe it's just because I'm in my Brewer bubble.
Yeah, that's valid. Well, let's look it up. We'll let you know tomorrow for sure. One question from the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text Line, 414-677-1250. Will Wisconsin football ever get out from under the spell of Barry Alvarez?
Ooh.
That's fascinating. So, did you know that some people call Barry Alvarez the Godfather?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Did you know that they never call it to his face?
No.
The very first podcast, April 1st, 2021, the Inside Wisconsin podcast, we had Barry Alvarez on. And I said, I introduced him, the first guest on the Inside Wisconsin podcast, the godfather of Wisconsin football, Barry Alvarez.
Yeah,
well, he didn't say he didn't.
Okay.
But the feedback that I got thereafter was, we don't call that to his face. We were just like, well, the Godfather's here. Like,
yeah.
Matt LePay was like, you said, huh? What? This is a valid piece. And I've said it before. It's like when the all-star pitcher or the all-star player was in a spot, retired, and you came in. Think replacing John Elway or think replacing Peyton Manning.
Mm-hmm.
And you had some big shoes to fill. Now, obviously, Jordan Love doing a fairly decent job, just as Aaron Rodgers did after Brett Favre. There's something to be said, though, about that guy still hanging around. And I'm not saying that Barry doesn't deserve whatever Barry wants to do at Wisconsin. That's not the point, because that's the truth. He gets to do whatever he wants. Wisconsin athletics as a whole, and specifically the football program, would not have had the success it did without Barry Alvarez. He put us on the map. Basketball, volleyball, hockey. When Barry Alvarez became athletic director of Wisconsin, he took it to a different level. That level changed when the NIL came in, and specifically post-COVID. We talked to Barry about this because there's not a 3-ring binder, he said, that says, global pandemic. Got it. Here's what we need to do.
Sure.
However, at some point, the world is going to decide when Barry Alvarez is with us and when it's not, but that doesn't mean he necessarily has to. Can we not have him be around all the time? That's what the question is. Is it right that he's around all the time? Should he be around all the time? Or is this just something that maybe Barry goes, all right, I'm not here anymore, even though he's the Godfather. Like the Godfather, I'm not talking about the mob, but It's my understanding they get to do whatever they want. Should Barry is the question. Because this says fire Fickle and McIntosh. I believe that to be true. I think Chris McIntosh is going to go down with the ship. I don't think he's going to admit that maybe this Fickle thing didn't work out. He's going to hang on too long, and then
he's going to go down with it. Yep.
All of a sudden, they're both going to be gone. I'm not saying that that's the answer. I'm just saying that there's some truth to that. And it doesn't help that Barry's still around. I just don't think it's hard for McIntosh to do his job, which, by the way, Chris McIntosh played for Barry Alvarez. So you think he is going to come out and go, Barry, would you just go back to Florida for a while? Like, let me do this. I got this. No, of course not. Chris McIntosh has the most respect for Barry Alvarez. He learned from Barry Alvarez. And yet, things are not the way they were under Barry Alvarez. So there needs to be some change. But that's the question. Should Barry still be hanging around? Or no?
Or no?
Or no. I don't think so.
Or
no. The most electrifying sound of the day was difficult to find.
Yeah, sure was.
We found one, and we're going to share it with you next. However, let's not take electrifying sounds for granted, okay?
Well said. Well said.
Last night, not a lot of electrifying things out of the Bucks game. And nobody talked at Lambeau Field, and the Brewers didn't talk, and college basketball didn't happen. So, by golly, Giannis, did you do anything?
We'll find out.
Help us find an electrifying sound. All right, that's next. Hey, shout out John Kuhn, shout out Mason Crosby, two former Packers here with us on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. If you want Packers insider stuff, you tune in here. Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, the most electrifying sound of the entire day yesterday is next. Wisconsin, make sure to follow us on Twitter at Trevor Thomas IW, at On Air Josh, at Inside Wis Sports, and the network at WI Sports Radio. It's Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. The most electrifying sound of the day goes now.
And that was the most electrifying sound of the day, brought to you by our friends at Best Electric. Remember, no job is too big or too small for Best Electric. Don't stress. Connect with the best. Call them today or visit them online at bestelect.com. There was one play in the game, but the audio wasn't great. But of Giannis going to the hoop with 4 defenders, I mean, just being attacked. The fact that the man can't get a foul call is still just baffling, and it always will be.
Well, we talked about that yesterday, and there's a question on the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and text line about that very thing again today. It says, do we believe that Giannis is getting reffed different based on the narrative that he was presented on social media yesterday? I'm leaning more and more, and I hate to admit it. It's a 90s NBA kid. What did I miss?
Yeah, I'm not sure what it was with the social media, the narrative that this person's talking about. I will say that, I mean, listen, we played the audio of Doc after the game in Indy, where a ref just straight up told him, well, we didn't call the foul because he played through it, which I don't know. I don't know what you tell Giannis at that point. Stop playing hard? Stop being you so that you get the call? No. You're not going to do that.
The NBA is in a hot, weird spot right now. It really is, with guys like Giannis or Westbrook tackling him and that not being a flagrant foul.
Right.
And then all of the stuff that came out a week or two ago. Now, granted, I haven't had ESPN for a minute on my TV. Thanks, YouTube TV. Will you figure it out, please? For the love of God. I'm so annoyed by this.
Yeah, it's killing you.
It is. But for that reason, I haven't seen or researched, frankly, because I don't care, what all this betting stuff came down.
Everyone said this was going to bring down the league. I haven't seen anything.
It went away.
Weird.
I hate that.
Weird that that's how what happened. You had
just like
2
Ohtani.
or 3 guys.
Just like Ohtani. What's that? His interpreter had access to that was his money. What? Under the rug.
Yep.
Get under the rug.
Hey, look over here. Look at the shiny thing over here. Okay.
Yep. It's in a bad spot. Can we agree that out of the professional leagues, the NFL, the MLB, the NHL, college athletics, that the NBA is at the bottom of just overall, they just don't seem to be able to keep their ducks in a row. I don't hear these stories or complaints about a whole heck of a lot with all these other leagues. Now, careful what you wish for, Trev, because we're about to go into a season of Major League Baseball that may be our last for a hot minute, and that's not going to go over well either.
No, I think that, and also I think that college athletics is not necessarily in a good state right now either. They're still trying to figure a lot of things out.
Flip the question then, because you and I have talked a number of different times that professional sports as it stands is difficult to potentially be sustainable long-term without significant give. There's going to be a bend here that breaks, and I'm not sure where it's going to come, because I honestly thought already it was going to be the NCAA, and it hasn't broke.
Yeah.
It is broken.
It is broken. I don't know. I don't know like that. It's the changes. It's the changes for money, right? A lot of these sports franchises and leagues, they can't just accept, hey, we got a good thing, don't touch it. There are new opportunities to make money. There are new opportunities to do things. And then it changes the whole landscape, right? We saw that with the NIL deals and how that completely changed college athletics.
Is there anything, though, in the NFL that has made us feel this way? I mean, the concussion thing is the only thing that comes to mind, meaning players just don't get jacked up the way they used to. The big hits that we all went as we were watching the games don't happen. I mean, sometimes they happen, but the flag comes out right away. Is that the only thing that I can come up with top of mind where the NFL would be in the similar boat as to these other sports?
Yeah, the NFL is well beyond the problems that these other leagues have, for sure. The only other thing I could think of is just some of the definitions of what is roughing the passer, some of these things that we're still trying to figure out.
Minuscule in comparison.
Correct.
Hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe we should be taking some notes and go, yo, NBA.
Oh, I'm taking notes
leagues.
Next segment.
I am too, because we're going to get a very good explanation from a very great guy named Jeff Levering on what arbitration is all about. Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Lev joins us next. Don't go anywhere.
there's no denying that the relationship is definitely hurt from what perspired over the last couple of weeks. There's really no way getting around that. Obviously, we're professionals, and we're going to go out there and do our job and keep giving what I can every fifth day that I go out there. But when some of the things that are said that for instance, basically put me in the forefront of the reason why we didn't make the postseason last year. I mean, that's something that probably doesn't need to be said. We can go about a hearing without having to do that. So that's kind of one of those things that obviously there was no attacking of character, person of who I was, but just the some of the stuff that was said that definitely didn't need to be said is something that I think kind of disappointed everyone.
Oh boy. Here we go again.
No, please, no.
Maybe not. Maybe not. But it feels like it. That was Corbin Burns off of a Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel YouTube interview that happened back in February of 2023 after his arbitration hearing. And you go ahead and decide how he felt about it. Fairly simple to see. What's up, Wisconsin? Welcome in Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, live on YouTube and X as well, youtube.com/@WI Sports, or you can just search Inside Wisconsin Sports and we pop up right there, or x.com/WI Sports Radio. All right, we're dedicating the entire morning mind dump to one word that I barely can say and spell. Arbitration. Here we go. Joining us on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law, one call, that's all. Our guy, Jeff Levering, who I texted last night, Josh, and I said, help.
Yeah. We were talking about it, and we both said, yeah, I don't get this. Yeah, me either. We need help.
We're going to need some help. Jeff Levering on the phone from someplace in the middle of Iowa. I can't say the word Iowa without Iowa, like
Brambalaga.
Lev, help us.
Help you, help me, help everybody. I'm in the middle of Davenport, Iowa, and all I think about is Tommy Boy needing a new map because I'm 80 miles away. Arbitration. It's a complicated process. How can we walk you through the process here, fellas?
Well, that's what we're going to need. Hold our hand and just help us make sure that we're not freaking out for no reason. It's the old do it once, shame on you, do it twice, shame on me. This is not the first brewer to go through it. It won't be the last brewer to go through it. Hader, Devin Williams, Willie Adames. I mean, this happens to the good ones. Corbin Burns, obviously, we just heard from. But what, as we fans see, what are we missing? Because it just feels like this pain, and hearing Corbin Burns talk about it like he did back in 2023 isn't worth $750 in that case, or $900,000 in this case with William Contreras. So what are we missing?
Right. I mean, it's really just it's a clerical situation with declining the option for $12 million. The Brewers are banking that they're going to pay William Contreras a little bit less than that in the arbitration process. So to dummy it down, between years 3 and 6 that you're in the major leagues, you have an opportunity to raise every single year. So starting in year 3, when you get to big leagues, you can get a raise. If you don't have a multi-year contract or a contract extension, which is not your rookie deal. So when you go to arbitration, you essentially, as a player, you give the team what you feel like you should earn. The team will come back with a different number. And then I think the ultimate goal is that you meet somewhere in the middle. Or if you don't meet somewhere in the middle by the middle of January, then you go to a a third party, which is appointed by Major League Baseball that has no skin in the game at all. And everybody tells everybody what you like or don't like about each other, and then you try and settle on a number. And that is the process that Corbin Burnes went through. And yes, there was a number that the Brewers did not want to pay that Corbin Burnes felt that he deserved. And yes, he pitched outstandingly well, won a Cy Young, probably deserved the number that he threw out there. But based on a couple of things, and the Major League Baseball teams, whether it's the Brewers or whoever, they're going to try and get the best bang for their buck. And based on specific numbers and different things that they can go to their database about, say, well, okay, you deserve this number, but this is why you don't deserve that number. And they tell it to you in your face if you're at the hearing. So if you're a player and you go to the hearing, you're going to hear all this stuff. Mm-hmm. So that's the hard part of it, right? And it's almost, I don't want to, it's a bad analogy, but it's almost like going to couples therapy and you're talking to each other and saying, well, I don't like this. Well, I don't like this. Okay, well, then let's try and fix it. And your arbiter is the therapist at that point, and then they award money at that particular point in time. So it's a tough process, but everybody goes through it. It's not just a Brewers thing. It's a Major League Baseball thing. Does the system stink? Yeah, it stinks. It's bad. It's antiquated. It's terrible. Can't everybody just get along? Yeah, I wish we could, but this is the system that we're in. And if the Brewers are haggling over a couple $100,000, that's what they're haggling over with William Contreras at the moment.
So, Jeff, when I'm looking at the situation, though, that is put in front of us with Contreras and him going to arbitration, it makes me worried about where the team is at with him long term. And Trevor brought it up earlier in the show that a lot of the other players that we have seen go to arbitration, they didn't get extensions. It didn't lead to, okay, we're going to couples therapy now. We're working this out for, $100,000 to $800,000, but
right,
we're going to end up signing something long term. Is this, have you seen across the league and in the history of this, is this usually a telling sign of, we're kind of just playing out the rest of the days with this player before we move on?
I think history would tell you that is typical in this situation. But again, it feels like everybody that goes to a hearing through arbitration that does not settle on a number before going to a case. And who's to say that the Brewers and William Contreras don't settle on a number? That could happen tomorrow. We don't know. You hope it doesn't go to an arbitration hearing in the middle of January or right before spring training, or even sometimes in the middle of spring training, which is what happened with Corbin Burnes. But hopefully you can settle on a number and go, okay, well, this is your productivity level, and this is what you should earn based on what other players of your category have made in the past. Who's to say that the Brewers don't extend William Contreras? I think there's a good possibility of it. I'm sure they've explored it. It just hasn't happened yet. He is still under team control. He is still a Milwaukee Brewer and will continue to be a Milwaukee Brewer until it's another story. Who knows what's going to happen? I feel confident that he's going to stay in a Brewers uniform for a long time, and I think that he hopes that he is in a Brewers uniform for a really long time. But as is the case with any employee that feels like he deserves something more than what he is earning, you're going to voice that, right? And then that's just part of how the process goes.
I got a buddy one time that walked into his boss's office and said, I would like a raise. And he walked out going, God, I can't believe I get paid as much as I do. Wow. And that happens sometimes in business. And I think that's the hard part for Brewers fans to wrap our heads around, Jeff. Jeff Levering joining us on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. We view this as fans about wins and losses. And none of us would be talking about the money, especially the aspect of, hey, going over to your point, a couple $100,000, in some cases, $750,000, in this case, $900,000. But
right.
Baseball, monetarily speaking, is broken. And so it makes Brewers fans feel, regardless of truth or not, that we are, finger quotes, cheap. And I don't think that's the case, but it sure feels this way. And yet they're fighting for every penny because they don't have all the pennies that the Dodgers or the Blue Jays or the Mets or the Yankees have. Can you help us break that down in our minds? Because right now it feels cheap, and I don't know that that's fair.
I agree. It's not fair. In my tenure with the Brewers, and I just finished my 11th year, Mark Attanasio and the rest of the ownership group is, when they have needed to spend, they have spent. And the narrative that the Brewers payroll keeps going down and down and down and down, I think is a misnomer. It has stayed pretty level over the years. And yes, they have let players go in arbitration. They've let players walk in free agency. They have traded players when they're going to make too much money. And for the most part, those moves have paid off. If you look at them, just kind of with the rose-colored glasses, those moves have paid off for the most part. So I think that the Brewers have done a really good job of being fiscally responsible. And I know it hurts, and you see the Dodgers going and spending $350 million a year and spending $1 billion on 2 players in one offseason, and the Mets are spending $750 million on 1 player in an offseason. Other teams are out there spending money. Vladimir Guerrero made $500 million in salary when he signed his extension before this year. Guys make a lot of money. I understand that. But for every one of those guys, there's somebody who's making the major league minimum at $700,000, $750,000 that makes a difference on your roster. Think about an Isaac Collins, right? And sometimes that's the difference in making a contract for William Contreras. If the difference is $900,000, that could be 1 player. That's one huge piece of your roster. That's a Quinn Priester. That's somebody that you didn't anticipate being on your roster. That's money allocated towards that person. So while you look at these other teams and they're going way over the luxury tax and all the different stuff, the Brewers have to operate in a different way. They don't have the television contract that a lot of these other teams have to operate with. All this other discretionary income. There's operating costs, and being in the smallest medium market and all the other things, I could throw all the other excuses out there. The Brewers are spending money. They really are spending money on this roster. They don't get to where they are without spending money. They're just being more responsible with it because they're competitive year in and year out. Yeah. Imagine going for it. Imagine spending $300 million in one off season, right? And that's your payroll, and you're going over the luxury tax, and then you don't make the playoffs. Then how are fans feeling about it? Then you're paying $20 a beer, or you're paying $50 for your ticket when it's usually $20. That goes into the fans' pockets. That at the end of the day is what this looks like.
So back to Contreras and the arbitration. So if they go to therapy, they figure this out one way or another, right? Either the therapist makes a decision or they come to terms on their own. Then is this something that we're still, unless they do sign an extension, we're right back at next offseason?
Yes. Yeah, I think he still has 1 more year of control after this too, with his contract situation. So yeah, you'd be going back into an arbitration process depending on if they settle or if they sign an extension. Now, what the Brewers did with Jackson Chourio, signing him to the 8-year deal, they bought out this arbitration process. They did that with Aaron Ashby. All of these long-term deals that they have, with the exception of Yelich, because he was already past the arbitration process when he signed his big deal before 2020. They did it with Freddie Peralta, buying out his arbitration, his control years, and gave him a couple of bonus years too. They don't have to deal with that with these guys. Now, if you sign an extension with Contreras, okay, fine. You don't have to deal with the arbitration process again, and you've got them under team control. But yes, you could potentially be kicking the can down the road and seeing this happen 1 year from now as well with William.
Jeff Levering joins us on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. Jeff, I believe you were on the Marquette Albany call the other night. Later in this, yeah?
I was indeed on Monday. Yes, I was there.
So we're going to chat with Mike Jakubowski a little while later in this show. He's the PA announcer, I'm sure you know. Can you tell us how insanely good he is in comparison to other stadiums that you're in throughout the offseason, knowing that you're either on your way to calling a game or on your way home calling a game?
Yeah, he's really good at being a public address announcer. As you know, as a guy who's done a lot of public address, That is how I started in quote unquote the business, doing public address in college. It really helped me in my pronunciation of names. It really helped me learn rules of some sports that I didn't know. Being a PA guy it's a lot of fun. You're the juice inside the stadium, and for a lot of sports, if your crowd is not into it, you have the opportunity to use your voice to get people into a ball game. And Mike Jakubowski, his brother Troy, who does stats and works for the Brewers and does a whole bunch of stuff at the ballpark as well. Just great human beings. Mike had, I think, his 500th game and got a bat before the game on Monday. So that was really cool to see him. It's always fun to chat with Mike. But he's got a great voice, and when you're at the ball game at Marquette, when Mike comes on the PA, that everything's kind of going to be okay because he's that voice of Marquette basketball inside the arena.
And you said it best, the juice. I love that. I can't wait to talk to him. There's just something special about Marquette games. I've been to a number of different college basketball games that you would be aware of, and Marquette's got it going on. That's for sure.
Yeah, they really do. And it's I was at Iowa last night for Ben McCollum's first game at Iowa, and I'd say the crowd was half full, and Ben McCollum, the head coach, was raising his arms up like, "Come on, let's go, crowd." That should be the PA guy's responsibility. You can only do so much using your voice, but you can get fired up in the right places. I mean, you're not going to start talking in the middle of play, but you can get fired up for a three or for a big dunk, and you can use your voice to put some juice into the crowd for sure. But that's something Mike does a great job, and for Marquette fans, they're so lucky to have Mike and to have the venue that they get to play in every single night too at Fiserv.
Jeff, I'm not sure what you were doing Sunday night a couple weeks ago, but the Packers went to Pittsburgh and they beat the Steelers. And Aaron Rodgers didn't throw any interceptions in that game, which meant
should have thrown 3.
Which meant that Trevor is going to be buying you and myself a couple of steaks at Henry Flock Steakhouse. Just wanted to make you aware. We got to get that on the calendar. Find out when you're not going to be in Iowa, so we can make that happen.
Yes, I did see that tweet, and I'm looking forward to having the steak of my life. So thanks, Trevor. And I'm just really glad to ride the coattails. I'm just really glad that I was on the air that day with you guys, so that you made the bet, and I just happened to win by proxy. I was going to win no matter what.
Yeah,
so no, I'm jacked up. I'm really excited. We'll put the schedules together and we'll figure out a night where I can have a steak on Trev.
Well, it appears that he's a pretty busy guy, Josh. I mean, it might take a minute for us to finagle.
Oh, no. He just said he's going to check the calendar. I think we'll be able to get this settled.
Oh, let us know.
We don't need to take this to arbitration. We'll get this settled.
I'll tell you, it'll happen before spring training, okay?
Yeah. In Arizona. Did you hear that? No. Henry
Full
Flock
circle.
That's fine. All right. Yep. No arbitration needed. We'll take care of this. Jeff, we appreciate you. Yeah. Get home safe, my man. We'll talk soon.
You got it, guys. Take care.
Thanks,
Jeff Levering, the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. I think he did a great job of explaining that.
He did.
We know all the things that we need to know. Do you feel better?
I was just going to ask, do you feel better? No, not at all. I don't like the fact that a player that wrote a Players Tribune article about how much he loves Milwaukee, brought all this passion into the postseason, played through injury, and we're sending him to couples therapy with the Brewers. I don't like that. I don't want to treat him that way.
We feel that way because we only view it as a fan. We don't have the checkbook in our hand. I know it doesn't make it feel any better. And it's the hardest part about sports for me is that in one hand, we are fanatics that want wins or losses at all costs. And there's an entire business wrapped up in this whole thing. And that side of it, I do not understand, and I very much probably don't appreciate it the way I probably should. But at the same token, we spend the money, we go drink the beers, we tailgate, we're there, we buy the tickets. This isn't something that we all shy away from. And when this feels this way, with a guy that, to your point, Josh, is everything that we would want in a Milwaukee Brewer, somebody find $900,000 to avoid this thing.
Did he not earn it? Why are you fighting over it? He earned it.
And to Jeff's point, he makes a good point. Sometimes there are players, often, that are on a team for less than that.
Yeah,
and you get a whole nother guy.
I get it. And he's bringing logic and reason and thought, and I am emotion, and we don't agree.
Often. We don't, in regards to emotion.
Yes, emotion and logic do not agree.
Not a thing. Very hard. I love this. Would you rather Wednesday? That's next. I've got a few questions for Josh. Josh has a few questions for me in the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and text line. If this goes anything like it did last week, we want your answers to our would you rather questions. And we also wouldn't mind a question or two from you that would make us think and put us in a potentially hairy situation to have to make a decision. Would you rather Wednesday is next. It's Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. What's up, Wisconsin? Welcome back inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Make sure to stay tuned here on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Green Bay Press-Gazette Packers beat writer Ryan Wood will give us his thoughts on the Packers' lack of moves at the NFL trade deadline on 9 to noon today with Kuhn. This morning at 10 on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Would you rather Wednesday? We debuted this segment last week, and based on the number of text messages that we already got, we think it's going to stick.
Mm-hmm.
Josh and I will ask each other a few questions, maybe 4, maybe 5, maybe 3, and we'll get your take on would you rather with a sports theme. My theme today, Josh, has a very arena/venue theme to it.
Okay, interesting.
And so here is my first would you rather question to you. If you could have one of these back and get rid of its replacement, would you rather County Stadium or the Bradley Center?
Oh,
you got to pick one.
I do have to pick one.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, I guess the Bradley Center.
Really?
Yeah. Listen, I had some. I wouldn't say great memories because the team sucked, but I have fond memories of childhood at County Stadium. I like having a roof. I like having a roof for baseball games. It rains. It rains sometimes. I don't like having to worry about, oh, is the game going to get rained out? Oh, am I going to have to get a ticket? No.
All right.
I like my roof.
Good.
Let me have it. Hey, I have one for you here.
Okay.
Would you rather have a Brewers owner that had and spent a ton of money, but the Packers then have an actual owner, or have things be exactly how they are?
So to understand your question, you're saying now the way we are, or a big old fat checkbook with a Brewers owner that doesn't care about how much money he makes or doesn't make. He just writes checks. But that would also mean that there's a Packers owner that we would have to worry about as well.
Right. You're losing the Packers are not owned by one single family person.
I would much rather have it the way it is right now. Absolutely. The Packers organization is so unique without an owner, unlike any other sport. And if you ask players, coaches, front office personnel, it's the best place to do business. And Brian Gutekunst said it on these airwaves last week. Ron Wolf said, we're not here to make money. We're here to win. Okay. That is not how owners think.
Right.
That is exactly how the Green Bay Packers think, though, and I would much rather have that than a big fat paycheck book in the Milwaukee Brewers.
But it could help. It could help you someday get that World Series ring.
Nah, I still think it's possible.
Okay.
Your favorite artist, Josh, is playing a concert. Would you rather go see them at Lambeau Field or AmFam Field? And I'll pause here and say it was just announced that AC/DC is coming to play at Camp Randall, but a friend of mine said yesterday that concerts suck there, so they didn't make the list. So would you rather Lambeau Field or AmFam Field to see your favorite artist play a concert?
So I've only seen concerts at AmFam. I've never seen a concert at Lambeau.
Oh, you're missing out.
So I'm not positive there.
Luke Combs is coming here next spring.
Because of the fact that I've never done it, I feel like my answer is going to be Lambeau.
Yeah.
I'd rather see one at Lambeau.
I have seen concerts at both. I can tell you that Lambeau Field is unlike anything I've ever experienced. And I was on the field for Luke Combs last time he was at AmFam Field. That's where the whole story of the tall guy, short guy problem came for me. And can I tell you that when I saw Kenny Chesney at Lambeau Field right after the Packers won the Super Bowl and the Super Bowl trophy came out and he sang Boys of Fall, it changed me.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a moment for you.
Hoy.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Thanks.
Hey, would you rather sit through a Matt LaFleur presser or a Craig Counsell presser?
LaFleur all day long. Counsell was painful.
Yeah, but it might be more enjoyable to listen to, but you're not getting answers.
I don't care. It's agonizing to listen. I thought you were making like a Counsell impression there, the way it started. Yeah, but if you listen. Yeah, LaFleur all day long.
Okay.
Josh, would you rather attend a Packers game in the cold weather or the hot weather? Notice the difference here. It didn't say fall weather
Mhm.
or 70-degree weather, hot at Lambeau Field or cold?
Absolutely cold. And to be completely honest with you, I think I would prefer cold over nice. I would prefer it to be snowing than 65 and sunny.
That is so funny you bring that up because my niece a few years ago went to her first game. It was on a Sunday night. The lights were on. It was chill in the air and snowflakes were falling. And I looked at her and I said, you have no idea how jealous I am right now because this right here is the best Lambeau Field has to offer in terms of its atmosphere in regards to the weather. It was against the Chiefs. She was there to see Taylor Swift. I digress. But that is what Lambeau Field means and is all about. Now, you can also always put more clothes on.
Yep.
But you cannot always take more clothes off.
I've been saying that for years. At some point, I take off enough clothes to where the police get called.
Yep.
No one gets mad if I put 8 layers on.
Bingo.
Yep.
That's exactly right. All right. You're up.
Would you rather get rid of Matt LaFleur, but you also lose Goody, or you keep Goody, but you have to also keep Matt LaFleur?
Dude. Oh my
See,
God.
and these questions, these are specific for Trevor because I know who he likes and doesn't like.
This is my idea too. And then this just bit me right in the ass. I would say keep them both.
You want Goody that bad?
I mean, it has little to do with knowing Goody personally and more to do with I think Goody's doing a good job of putting the right talent on the field. There's just something broken with making the talent connect with the play calling, both on the defensive side and the offensive side and whatever's happening with special teams. But I would much rather not clean house and keep a good thing going because I think we can all admit that we have a good thing going. It's just not a great thing going yet.
But are we sure that it's ever going to become a great thing?
Well,
or are we pretty solidified in the fact that as long as this is what we have, there is an end of the road. This is as far as it's going to go.
I don't know, man. Look what happened with the Badgers. They cleaned house, and that didn't go well.
That's true.
I just don't think Green Bay is there where that would be the fix.
Sure.
I just don't. I don't think that getting rid of both Goody and Matt LaFleur, we would all go, awesome. All right. Finally, we're going to be able to get over the hump and win another Super Bowl. It doesn't make me feel that way at all. Again, with a team that is currently 5-2-1 and trending in the right direction with a very young quarterback. I mean, all the things are going in the right direction. But that was a jerk question. I love you, though.
Yeah, well, this was
awesome.
your bet.
All of it's about. That's what it's about. Speaking of jerk questions.
Okay. Here we go.
Would you rather, Josh, have your bowling shoe stick and you fall down at the approach in a game where that would have been your winning ball to win a championship bowling match? Or would you rather have an entire cream puff go down your brand new shirt on your first day at the Wisconsin State Fair and you cannot edit it out or clean it?
No, absolutely. Give me the cream puff. That's a badge of honor. That's no one's going to even look at me weird. They're going to be like, "Yep, he already had the cream puff." That's going to be the answer. I'm not even embarrassed of it at that point. I've had the situation, not in like a championship match, but I've had the situation where, someone didn't clean up. There was a little bit of water. My slide foot got wet, so it stuck, and I went on the lane and fell on the ball. Knocked the wind out of me. It was not good. Yeah, I was, I don't know, 16 at the time. But
whenever I notice that when I'm bowling, whether it's for fun or not, I always make sure that if I go to the bathroom, I take my left shoe off.
Yeah.
Or please keep your drink up there. It has nothing to do with me bowling well, because that is a very hit or miss thing regardless of my shoes.
Yeah, it's just injury.
But that's a long way down, man. A long way down. And
especially for you, yeah.
When I fall, there's nothing graceful about it. It is, he might be dead.
Yeah. No, I trust me. I never want to see you fall. It would take forever, and I'm not sure what would happen next.
I had one more on mine, but there are so many that we got to get to on the Nicolay Law fan talk and text line.
I have one more it's a quick one, but I want to ask you, and it's not even a jerk one. Would you rather have Friday Brewers home games start at 6:40 or 7:10? I'm not sure if you saw this, but the Brewers put out a story that said that they are all in on moving the night game times, including Fridays, to 6:40 instead of 7:10. I understand it's only 30 minutes, but your thoughts, are you happy about that? Are you indifferent? Or are you mad?
I'm honestly happy about it because I choose not to go to many Brewers home games at night, even though they are absolutely my favorite Brewers experience, specifically when the roof is open. A Brewers night game with an open roof is as good as it gets as a Brewers fan attending a game, in my opinion. With that said, what keeps me from going there are the late night drives home for me.
Yeah.
Me and the driving home in the dark aren't friends, and the later it gets, the worse it gets. So a 6:40 start time, knowing that I'm fairly committed to staying till the end of the game in most scenarios, there have been some times I've left early, that is better for me because that means I get home earlier, on the road earlier, and all of the things.
I think about the tailgating. A lot more if it's a Friday and you're working on Friday, a lot more difficult. You get home at 5, you're packing up the car. You've got an hour at most before first pitch. That's tough.
All right, let's get to the Nicolay Law fan talk and text line, 414-677-1250. We'll take a couple here, then we'll break, and we'll get to the rest. There's a lot of good ones in here. All right, Josh, here's the first one I am reading.
Okay.
Would you rather the Bucks win a championship, but that means Churio would no longer be a Brewer, or the Brewers win a World Series, but Giannis is no longer a Buck?
Yeah, the Brewers win a World Series. It's easy. We've talked about this, the things that I would sacrifice. I think a better question is don't take the Bucks out and put in the Packers.
Hey, don't tell him how to would you rather.
I will. That's not fanning. I will absolutely tell him how to would you rather. If you put it in with Jordan Love and you said, having that be it to where the Brewers win, but you lose Jordan Love, I think that'd be a little bit more interesting.
I would have the same. I would rather take a Brewers World Series and have Giannis no longer be a Buck. That doesn't mean I want that to happen. It just means that I would prefer a World Series over another NBA championship.
Correct.
Josh, would you say you are a bigger Giannis fan than you are a Bucks fan?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Is that okay?
I don't know, but it's the truth.
Yeah.
He's my favorite player, period. I can't honestly tell you that I love the team more than him if I love him more than any other player in any other sport.
Not if, but necessarily when he goes to a different team. Are you buying that Giannis jersey?
I've thought about it a lot.
Ooh.
I don't know.
You know what? Think about it now, and I want you to have to. Would you rather?
No, no.
Yep.
We're
going to break.
bumping out. Music's playing.
We're going to break.
Stay right here. Stay tuned. More.
And you're going to answer that when we come back. I promise you will.
Mm.
There are a lot of would you rather questions on the Nicolay Law fan talk and text line from all sorts of different zip codes, and that's because we are statewide on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Good morning to Wausau on 93.9 The Game, Duluth Superior on 710 The Game, Green Bay and the Fox Valley. That's where I am here at 99.7 WNFL, and Josh is in Milwaukee on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan. Together, we make up the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, and we are so glad that you all are chiming in from literally all over the state of Wisconsin. You're answering that when we come back, Josh.
I don't think so.
Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, in the middle of a Would You Rather Wednesday here on Inside Wisconsin Sports. The Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text Line has chimed in marvelously with Would You Rather questions for Josh and I, so we're going to jump right in. So here we go. Would you rather sit on a couch or never have back pain again?
Would you rather never sit on a couch?
Would you rather never sit on a couch or never have back pain again? Meaning the couches cause back pain.
Yeah.
Do you have back pain, Josh?
Well, yeah, I'm not in the best shape of my life. So,
well, but is it like, does it keep you up at night or wake you up in the middle of the night?
Nah, it's not that bad. I'm not.
You don't
to
have
that
back
point.
pain.
Okay.
Then you don't have back pain, because that is what so many, like, do you have a sciatic issue?
No.
You and LeBron? Okay, then you don't have back pain. You might have back pain, but the back pain that they're referencing about sitting on a couch, it's that kind of back pain. And I can tell you from firsthand experience, I would rather never sit on a couch ever again and get rid of this back pain. Because
Wow.
It is dumb.
But couches are so great.
Cool. I'm 42. If this is the way this thing's going to go until I'm 82, not cool. I would, if I could not sit on a couch for the rest of my life and that promised that I wasn't going to have this back pain anymore, sign me up. Now, this stool that I sit on every day, horrendous.
Yeah.
All I need is a back rest. But couches and apparently a soft bed. We bought a brand new bed 3+ years ago now. It was awesome. It was perfect for me. And now, big old boy over here has made that a little softer than it apparently was supposed to be. And we got to flip that thing because my back sucks. All right, you go.
Yeah, well, someone said, hey, would you rather pay $20 for a beer or never win a World Series in your life? It's from the 920, and that's in reference to when we were talking to Jeff Levering at the top of the hour. And he said, hey, listen, this is the thing about money. It all falls back on the fans. If this, do you want to pay $12 for a beer? Or do you want to pay 20? I'm with him. I'd much rather be paying $20 for a beer.
Me too.
I'd pay $50 for a beer.
I would too.
If it meant I won a World Series.
Imagine having that as a thing that was posed on us. All right, guys, we're going to double our payroll. That's the good news. The bad news, everything at AmFam Field just doubled. Have a good day.
Yep. And cool.
Sounds good.
Yep.
Trevor, would you rather be transferred to the body of a man who is 5'8", knowing that I'm 6'8", and the Brewers start spending like the Dodgers, or stay 7'14", which is 8'2" for those doing math, and the Brewers don't spend a dime more than they already are? Rhino, I will take one for the team. I will become 5'8" if that means that we are up with the rest of the MLB, which, by the way, I cannot. How tall are you, Josh?
6 foot.
Okay, so 5'8" is not even, I don't think it's average for a man.
I think 5'9" or 5'10" is average.
I'll be 5'8", but only because I know what it's been like to be 6'8", and I can't wait to become a Napoleon. I will mess with so many tall guys.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, revenge. That's when Trevor goes on his revenge tour.
You go.
Would you rather, from the 414, would you rather watch the Badgers get their butts kicked in by Washington in the rain, or go to your kid's 2-hour dance recital?
I think the 414 is checking in for himself.
And that almost sounds like a What's Up Wisconsin for Saturday. Oh, that's tough, though. You're in the rain. You're watching your team. Listen, I'm going to probably go dance recital because I'm earning some brownie points being
Listening to Paul Allen describe a Vikings-Packers game is way worse than going to a dance recital. He's horrendous, especially when it comes to Packers-Vikings game.
Well, no, he's a lot of fun to listen to when the Packers are crushing the Vikings.
That wasn't part of the question, was it?
No,
it was just in general.
Yeah. So that means there's a chance. There's a chance.
So you're saying there's a chance.
Oh, did you see this one here from Trevor's Troll?
That's T-squared.
Yeah.
Would you rather keep a sweaty quarter zip or be a Cubs fan? Apparently, I'd like to keep a sweaty quarter zip.
Well, you didn't. You didn't, did you?
No, I didn't. And I'm not a Cubs fan either.
Oh, okay.
What is this, Josh? You didn't fall last year.
Yeah, I did. I did. I didn't.
Is that in reference to your bowling issue?
I didn't fall on the lane. Yeah, that's my buddy Brian, who I bowl with. who is trying to be funny, who texted in the show and said, Josh, didn't you fall last year? Yeah, we were at league. I had like the front six and like my leg gave out and like I dumped in the gutter. It was not a pretty moment. I mean, it's fine, but yeah.
Okay,
That's what he's referring to.
there's two more that I think that we're able to get to, and then we got a break.
Okay.
Here's one. Josh, would you rather give up 6 months of Natty Oaks chili or 6 months of no beer at sporting events?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, that is tough. Okay, I'm gonna go beer at sporting events because I've done it before, and Fridays without the chili is just not the same. So I'm giving up the beer at sporting events.
Jacob in a van, standing at 5'6". Please tell me more about your tall people problems. Valid, understood. All right, last one. Josh, would you rather go to the Wisconsin State Fair with unlimited money to spend, or Disney for a day with $100 to spend, and that's all you get? By the way, for those that don't know, Josh is a absolute fanatic freak about both. You go to Disney literally as often as you can, and you live at the Wisconsin State Fair the second the gates open.
Yeah, family loves Disney. I mean, family loves the State Fair too, but I'm going State Fair. You take me to the State Fair with unlimited money, wine slushy. We're having fun. We're having a great day at the Wisconsin State Fair.
But can you do that for how many days is the Wisconsin State Fair?
11.
7, 10, 11?
11
days.
Can
you do that 11 days in a row with
but that wasn't
budget?
the question. It was right. Would you rather go to Wisconsin State Fair? Oh, it just said with unlimited money to spend. Oh, that would be even better. That'd be the best state fair of my life. I would need a month of recovery time.
Yeah, I was going to say.
That would be a lot of fun.
Roll you right out of the Wisconsin State Fair. If I'm walking in there with unlimited money to spend and all that fried goodness.
Oh, yeah.
Fried Oreos and all the things.
We're having a blast.
And you are full. I went to Margaritas here in Green Bay for lunch yesterday, and you needed to roll me out of there. That's how full I was. I can't imagine an unlimited budget at the Wisconsin State Fair.
I'm taking you this year. It's going to be fun. We're going to have fun.
I would like to go on your dime.
What?
When we come back at the top of the hour, we chat with the one and only Doug Gottlieb, the head coach of GB men's basketball here in the Horizon League within the state of Wisconsin, along with UW Milwaukee, as well as, he hosts this afternoon national radio show called the Doug Gottlieb Show, and he's been on a show or two in all of his years. We'll talk a little sports, and we'll talk a little b-ball with Doug Gottlieb next. He joins us here on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Don't go anywhere.
So the Bucks wrap up the first back-to-back. They split it. 128 to 100, the final. Doc Rivers sitting most of his regular rotation starters the entire fourth quarter. We'll get a 2-day rest coming into Friday.
The Bucks were tired. That's all. Nothing to worry about.
That's
Nothing
all
to
it
see here.
was.
Not a great outing for the Milwaukee Bucks, but alas, we move on to the NBA Cup. Our thanks? Question mark to FanDuel Sports for that audio. What's up, Wisconsin? The Wisconsin Sports Radio Network is on your air, online, and on the radio, and wherever else you listen to us talk about sports across the entire state of Wisconsin. Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor Thomas and Josh Albrecht.
Hi.
Follow us on Twitter at Trevor Thomas IW and at On Air Josh, along with the network and the show at WI Sports Radio and at Inside Wis Sports. Joining us now on the Nicolay Law Fan Talk and Text Line. Actually, wrong. It's the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call. That's all. That's our guy, Doug Gottlieb. What's up, Coach? Good to see you, man.
Good to be seen. Looks like we got a little cold front heading through this weekend. You know, reminds me
Let
of.
me guess. You're going to be out in a tree stand. You're going to be out in a tree stand deer hunting. That's so your jam.
I would love that, man. I'd love to get a win Friday and have one of my guys here in Green Bay go, "Hey, man, let's go shoot a live animal." But
I know a guy. If you're looking, I know one.
do you?
Me too.
Do you? I don't want to sit up there, Trevor. I don't want to sit up there and not see anything. Like that's the
dude.
worst.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have ADHD as I do, right? And you got a million things, and like you'll put your phone in your pocket, be like, all right, I'm not gonna look at my phone. I'm just gonna enjoy nature. You know, which is kind of the weird thing about hunting, right? You're like, I'm gonna enjoy nature, and then I'm gonna blow one of nature's creatures to smithereens. But anyway, regardless. You know, the issue with me is it's like I don't go to fish. I want to catch, or at least something's got to bite on that pole. And I like to hunt. I'll go hunt, but I want to see something, you know, with a white tail that I can shoot. That would be cool.
That would be cool. And that's not always a guarantee. That's why they call it hunting and not shopping. All right, man, take us to Kansas. So you started the season, you got whooped, but let's be honest, you knew that was coming. And so would you help us real quick explain, and not to say that you didn't know it was coming in terms of getting whooped. I'm just saying you don't go into Kansas at number 19 and really believe you're going to walk out of there with a W unless something completely changed. There's a reason GB goes to Kansas, Doug. What is it? Because you wouldn't, why?
Well, I mean, I think there's a myriad of reasons. First is, again, I wholeheartedly believe that if we played the way we were trying to coach them to play, I think we would have been competitive in the game and had a chance to win the game.
Mm-hmm.
You do it because it's the opposite of St. Norbert. You know, St. Norbert, because they're a Division III program, they're younger this year. We played them as an exhibition game. But remember, Division IIIs don't have summer. They just started hooping a couple weeks ago, right? So they get everybody's confidence up, and we didn't want to kill everybody's confidence, but it exposes all, like, hey, all the things we've been telling you that are coming, like, this is what it looks like. If you think your way works, it doesn't, because now you're playing against players that are better than you. And how can you make up for sometimes an athletic mismatch? Well, it's with your brain and by playing together. So that's the challenge. I mean, look, you go there for a paycheck. Because
pause there for a second. I mentioned that on the radio yesterday. I think that was news to a lot of people.
Really?
That a school like Green Bay goes to Kansas and gets paid for going there. And we're not talking arbitration numbers. This is a big check.
Yeah, $110,000. So
that's worth it.
Which is why, and I'll just be honest, like Coach Gardner's been great this year, and because of one of our other opponents that we're contractually obligated to play, we couldn't get the dates worked out in terms of playing in Madison. But it's one of the things that I'm glad he's playing Milwaukee, because I just like, why are we sharing UW money with anybody outside the state? You know, I think us and Milwaukee should play the Badgers every year. They're playing right around New Year's, right before the Panthers play us. So yeah, so that's the nature of how it works. And when I don't I'm glad you brought it up and that people didn't know, but you have to make a decision. Are you going to go get paid, or are you going to, we're not yet at the level financially where we can buy somebody to come in here. Generally, the thought is when you buy somebody to come play, you're guaranteeing money and usually a win. That's why it's
Right.
very, very rare when you win those games. Friday we're getting bought again. We're playing at Buffalo, a lesser number than Kansas, but it's the same thing. It's hard to get people to come to Green Bay to play. Um, Next year this year we have 3 non-conference home games. Next year my goal is 5, and if I can get 6, even better. But we're going to have to play more bye games next year in order to get there. So it's why the league. It's like Robert Morris won our league, right? So
Mhm.
last night they went to Iowa and played, and I think they probably got 110 as well. And like the insult to injury is our conference player of the year plays for Iowa. So he had to play against his old team first. It's just so weird. But so what we went and played there, one, because you want to give the kids a chance to experience what college basketball is really like.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
that's what it's like. You also want to test yourself because it shows you it's like a pressure chamber, right? And it's a test. It shows you all the leaks and cracks, before you really, really go to market and play teams at your level. It can be a
True.
really, really good thing. And it's like, oh, okay, all those things, because we can't replicate that speed, that athleticism, their ability to switch and still contain us. Well, we can't. For me, I loved it because, um, you get to coach against one of the 5 best college basketball coaches on earth, and you get to learn why does that work. Same thing happened last year when we played against Drake. It's like, hey, why are they so good? Last year they played so slow. This year they're playing fast. And again, these are lessons that you learn.
Yeah.
And then, I want the experience for the program and the promotion of the program because they're Kansas. Everybody that score scrolls on every bottom line, and you get more
Exposure.
media coverage. And I'm not afraid of putting my kids out there and showing who they are, and if we're not there as a program, where we need to grow.
Doug, I like to talk to you about some comparisons between what you guys go through at the college level and what's happening elsewhere. And we talked when you joined us last time about kind of the way that you have to coach and you have to figure all this out. And now you're talking about getting paid to go play these other schools and the travel. Giannis and the Bucks have also been going through some difficult things in their own right and in their own league. And the big narrative there has been about him not getting calls. And as a coach, we heard Doc Rivers complain, like straight up just say to the media, like, yeah, well, first call the foul, because they're not doing that. As a coach yourself, how difficult is it to not just blurt that out and get angry, because I'm sure he got fined,
He does.
but also to watch a star player like Giannis not get those calls?
Well, if I had Giannis, I would not be in this predicament. Okay, let's just
Sure, yeah.
These are first world problems, and I'm in the third world right now. Okay,
Yeah.
but here's what I will tell you. Look, last year, I mean, there's a gentleman named Donnie who works at our conference office, and like I'm not a complainer. I'm just not. I don't voice complaints. I don't think it's healthy, or it goes to a negative place. But what you're supposed to do is, hey, you get some calls that you don't like, you clip them. We had about 5 absolute robberies last year, to where you're just like, what, did I say something? Is it something I said about your football team 15 years ago that you're mad about? Is it because we're Green Bay? Every coach like hypothesizes, well, the league doesn't want us to win because we're at the bottom of the league. And if we win, it looks bad for the league. Like, I don't think it runs that deep. I just think there's a percentage of people that aren't competent at their job. And, when we share officials with the Big Ten, the MAC, and us, and we're Green Bay and we're at the bottom of the league, we're going to get the bottom of the league refs. And that's what the bottom of the league refs look like. It's a lot like when I was an AAU coach and you'd get bad refs. The kids would all come over and parents would all be mad after the game. And I was like, it's 11 o'clock on a Sunday. If they were any good, they would have refed a college or a high school game last night and not needed the 25 a game, to come on over. So Like what did you think you were going to get in a 7th grade platinum AAU semifinal game, right? So my expectations. Now the NBA, obviously, it's a very, very different animal, and it's this dance that you do where they want to protect the best players, but the best players have all become foul merchants, like all of them. And so there are nights in which those guys don't get calls that they get all the time, and it creates this unreal sense of what are we calling? And like, look, let's be honest. Giannis is a gigantic human being, so he's naturally going to draw, and he initiates contact. So he's a very hard player to officiate, right? It's like, okay, we're going to call that. You want to call every foul? Let's call every travel on Giannis. Let's do it. Like, let's do it. You're like, well, that's different. No, it's not. Violation is violation. A foul is a foul. We're going to call them all. So without seeing it, I can't tell you. But like, here's an example. We played Kansas. They 40-pieced us, right? If you watch the film, I could, Trevor. I'll clip them. I'll send you. I'll send you 6 calls. Six
Deal.
calls, which you're like, did
Wow.
you need to absolutely make a BS call up against Green Bay? Did you need to do that? Like, really? Did you need to call a ball that's blatantly out of bounds on the Jayhawks, call it out on us, and then stare me down like I'm out of my mind? Like, wait, what? One of the officials, you'll love this. One of the officials, I said, hey, they got her. So they were switching every ball screen. So, at our level, we like that because we have some guys that we can expose the 5. We try and attack a 5-man out in space. Their 5-man, Flory Badunga is a phenomenal athlete, and he's one of the few guys that can switch onto 5. And he did a good job of defending some of our guys. But one of the things he did, and guys do, is when you drive, he puts his hands on you for just a second, which slows you down. That's why they don't allow hand checking. Slows you down and allows a center to cover a point guard. So I'm like, hey, every time we drive, Badunga puts his hands on us and slows us down. I said, can you look at it at halftime? He's like, no. I'm like, what? No, I'm not looking at that blank at halftime. Coach your team. I was like, wait, what? Like I could not have been more respectful. Like, hey, can you just check it out? Because at halftime, they sit in there and they look at a little tape and they talk amongst themselves and they do their little thing. And like, I'm not begging for calls, just like look at it at halftime and it'll allow us to attack switches better. And he's like, no. So the point is that if you, and I, it's like after the game, I can't go in there after getting 40-pieced and go like, hey, it should have been probably 25 because there's like 6 complete crap calls, right? That sounds stupid. So you got to pick and choose your spots. The great thing about Doc is everybody likes him. He obviously won a championship with the Celtics. And it's that cat and mouse game that all these NBA coaches do where they're protecting their guys. Like a lot of times you're doing it not to get calls, but so that Giannis thinks you have his back. That's really what it's more about.
Sure. Doug Gottlieb, the head coach of Green Bay men's basketball and the host of a national radio show called The Doug Gottlieb Show on Fox Sports Radio every afternoon. Doug, we have 5 minutes before we gotta let you go.
Okay.
I say that because this might be a long-winded answer for you.
Yeah.
This year, you've got a full offseason under your belt, and last year under your belt, where a lot of people had a lot of questions about you doing 2 full-time jobs.
Yeah.
You learned a thing or two last year.
Yeah.
What did you learn, and how are you going to make sure that those 2 don't come up in conversation as much this year?
Which one wouldn't come up in conversation? What do you mean?
There's a lot of people that are wondering how you're doing 2 full-time jobs. And last year, the wins weren't there, and that made it even that much more in the forefront. This year, you've had an entire offseason. You've got a whole roster of players that you brought in, and you're still doing the radio show.
I guess it's a fair question. It's really interesting, right? Like, how many people? When I go speak to, we have 2 optimist clubs in Green Bay, by the way. How optimistic is our city? It's our fair city. I love that, right? But I've gone to speak to both the optimist clubs, and I'll always have a guy pull me aside and go, "Hey, man, I've had 2 jobs my whole life. Like this is it's a grind."
You have to. I get it.
Right. Like how many people, and like, again, just so you know, like I've really had 3 or 4 jobs my entire broadcasting career. So yes, I do a radio show. There's lots of coaches that do radio shows, podcasts. Dion has done a TV show. Jim Balvano did a TV show. Al McGuire was never at practice when they won a national championship.
So, but why do you think you get the business when it comes to this? Like people are on you.
Two reasons. Probably 3. One is I've been I've been in the media for 25 years, and now social media exists. So you have people who have no idea about and have never watched us play a game. Right? All you got to do is like watch us play a game, and are we competently coached? Yes. Again, that's what I believe. Maybe we didn't look at the other night, and I'll take ownership of it. But it's not because we haven't taught them what to do. It's the brain lock of it. I would say it's because I've been in the media and because social media exists where you can have people that have no real understanding of things putting out things into like look, my shtick, if you will, during my time in the media has been like I'm just gonna call it like I see it. And especially when I landed in college basketball, when I started in college basketball broadcasting nationally, it was like 2002. And then I started really more on ESPN. I got there in '03, but I started doing college basketball, like studio stuff, '04, and then into '05. That was still the Dick Vitale era. And, Coach Vitale's, oh, it's awesome. It's fantastic. Let me tell you about Greg Gard and Mike Krzyzewski and Roy Wade. Everybody was great. So when you come in and you're just like, hey, this is good and this is not so good, and it sounds super negative, right? It does. When everything has been positive, positive, positive in a sport, and you're the guy who comes and goes, hey, this is all good, but this one thing could really be fixed. You sound like the most negative human being on earth because of the landscape of where broadcasting was. So that's how I was positioned. And if anybody thinks that's shtick, that they're allowed to. My point would be like I'm just kind of trying to be the honest broker, and I think I was a little bit ahead of where media went to, and that was simply because that's true to who I am as a person. It's true to who real sports people are, and I also think that I was trying to be sort of a breath of fresh air where I didn't kiss everybody's ass when I got into the media to cover basketball. I think college basketball especially. So I think that factors in, and then we didn't win. And nobody cares about Anthony breaking his ankle, about Marcus getting hurt, when we're up two at Providence. Nobody cares about Preston Rudiger getting a concussion when we're up 13 against Michigan Tech or academic probate. Like, nobody cares about those things. They just say, hey, somebody's down. Let's kick the crap out of them. And because that's fun for them. Okay, fine. Just let me know when we get this thing going, where you are. It's really easy to keep those internet receipts. So what's changed? A lot of things. I'm really good about my time. We have set meeting times, set practice times. I've hired an older, more experienced staff. I've also condensed my staff where, I had a couple of guys last year that were around the staff, who I thought I could mold into coaches, and they were great, but it was too many voices and too much chatter and not enough work being done. I have my own personal assistant now, so things are much more seamless I don't have to set up my radio stuff. I don't have to, just kind of a machine with going from thing to thing to thing to thing to thing to thing, right? And if the other part to it, and this is probably the last part to it, is most people, just like people don't know that we got paid $110,000 to go take an L at Kansas. Most people have zero idea what a college basketball coach does the rest of their day. None.
Fair. And
None.
you're the hammer. You get to decide. I get that.
Well, it's not,
all right, buddy, we got to go.
Not just that, but like what's Greg Gard doing when they're not at practice?
Watching a lot of Law and Order SVU.
Like, seriously,
marathon.
What is, like, I would love, give me the timeline of what you're doing. So again, carve out 3 hours out of his day, and I'll show you my day. My day's jam-packed, right? Today was a rare one where I didn't have a coffee with a donor or with anybody in town. I went to Bahava and got coffee. I met with my staff already. They're preparing something. We have practice already planned out. We got film that they're cutting out. There's a couple things I want to see in practice. We're going to change some of our lineup stuff. Okay, when they want to get done with you, they're going to come back in. We're going to line out practice. We'll be done at 9. The team is lifting at 9 o'clock. At 9:45, they'll be done. At 10 o'clock, we'll show them personnel from Buffalo. At 10:15, we'll get out there. By 10:30, we'll be warmed up. By 12:30, we'll be done with practice. And by 1 o'clock, I'll be recording my pod. By 4 o'clock, I'll be done. I have meetings lined up with 4 or 5 of my players, and then I'll have dinner and drinks tonight with 2 different donors tonight. So here, my answer is, I do a lot. I have 2 jobs. I love both jobs. I'm not giving either one up, and I think I can fulfill them competently. But I also said, like, track what anybody else is doing because there's dead time, and
Yep,
it
that's good.
sucks that I don't have my kids here with me, but I have 2 in college. I got one in high school. He lives in Oklahoma. So I don't have the normal things that normal human beings have. I'm respectful of that. I don't have that here. So what do I do instead? I work. That's it.
It's working. Doug Gottlieb, the head coach of UW Green Bay men's basketball, joins us. We got to go, Doug, but here's the text. I hope the Doug interviews happen weekly. This is awesome. Well, stay tuned. We're working on it.
We can just say we're going to do a weekly interview. Okay. But
We did.
next time I get to interview you guys. That's what I
Oh,
Ooh,
great. What could
I
go
get to
wrong?
interview you guys.
perfect.
Hey, Doug, got to go. Happy Wednesday, buddy.
Thanks, Doug.
Happy Wednesday. See you guys.
See you, man. Doug Gottlieb joins us on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network guest hotline powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. I don't think we're signing up for that. Him interviewing us,
Oh,
I'm off that day.
yeah. I'm gonna need the dump
It's
button
gonna go
ready.
bad. Another guest joins us next. It's Mike Jakubowski. He's the PA announcer for Marquette women's and men's basketball and professional bowling events.
Yep.
The guy's got a thing or two to share, and we're going to ask him about it, including what it's like to do 500 games. That's crazy. It's Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. It's Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. And immediately on to another guest. What an awesome day and awesome guests. Joining us on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law, One Call, That's All. Listening to a song by the Spin Out Records called Can't You Just. That's Mike Jakubowski. He's the Marquette basketball public address announcer and has something to do with those tunes, don't you, Mike?
Good morning, fellas. Yes, indeed. I appreciate following Doug Gottlieb. I know a thing or two about having 3 or 4 jobs, one of which is a singer-songwriter on the side, and was in Scotland over the summer doing some recording sessions with one of my good friends, Kaiser George Miller. That single is upcoming on Spin Out Records.
Love that.
Look at you.
We appreciate you for joining us, Mike. Indeed, you've got a number of different jobs. I got to experience the job that we know you most for in that Marquette basketball public address announcer seat. Probably 3 years ago now, and I did 7 seasons as GB basketball's public address announcer here in Green Bay. When I walked in and heard you on that mic and saw the amazing show that you all put on at Marquette, I came right back up here to Green Bay and went, we got a problem, because you guys do an incredible job. What has it been like for you all of these years?
It's been an incredible ride. I am a Marquette grad. At the end of every game, I introduce myself as a proud graduate of Marquette University. So I went through the broadcast program there, and then to come back and be a part of the game productions for both men's and women's basketball has been an incredible honor. And to watch game production advance over the years, Marquette has been among the leaders in game production with the use of all of the tools of the trade, music, sound effects, game day hosts, video programs, and other things. And so to watch the growth of that over 20 some years, and then blossoming now inside of Fiserv Forum with the great fan support, to be a part of that entire show is an incredible experience.
Mike, I'm hoping that, and Trevor, you can chime in on this too, but you can tell us just a little bit about what goes in to doing, the PA duties. I feel like a lot of people are aware of the broadcast play-by-play and color commentators, but there's not as much of a spotlight on the PA announcer as maybe there should be.
Well, I would proffer to say that there shouldn't be attention on the PA announcer. My goal in recent years has been to say as few words as possible, to not get in the way of what is happening on court and what is happening with the other shows. So I really attempt to not have me be the center of attention. What I want to do is add to the entire presentation and get in and get out, and don't belabor points or do things that would detract or draw attention. So basically, you set up the dynamic between being as professional and as mild-mannered as possible when doing visiting names and announcements, and then bring up the energy and the positivity and the frosting on the cake when you do the home announcements or when you do sponsor reads or other type things. And so it's really blending a tapestry from beginning until end of really setting the table for everything else to happen around you. I consider myself to be in the eye of the hurricane, and all of the action is happening around me. So the preparation comes, as Trevor knows, is to coming into the game and really studying the visiting roster and making sure you get those names right, because that is the key element for respecting your opponent, is to make sure that every single name that you pronounce is exactly as the way they would say it themselves. So that is a part of the whole, and then also the small part that I play within that whole.
Yep, that's exactly right. It's all about pronunciations, and less is more. And no matter how many times I used to read the opposing team's pronunciation guide, the second we do their starting lineup and one of those names is in there, I'm like, crap. Blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm going to do my best. Something else I chose to do while I was announcing, Josh, and Mike, you can appreciate this too. I rarely chose to introduce who was subbing in for the opponent, because I believe less is more. And so here at Green Bay, I didn't want to give the opposing team and or fans anything to get excited about with XYZ player entering the game. So I chose very much to not speak more than I chose to speak, because as Mike said, it can't be about the public. If it's about the public address announcer, we got a problem.
Exactly.
Meaning
correct.
you're not paying attention to what's going on the court. Now, there are things that the public address announcer at Marquette is involved with that I did not get involved with at Green Bay, because we simply didn't have the tools that Mike does at Fiserv Forum. You do an awesome kill tracker, I believe is what it's called, up on the screen. Meaning if you get XYZ number of kills, stops, whatever the case may be, there's a way to get the fans involved with paying attention to that stuff. But again, it's mic on, mic off.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what it is, mic off.
Get in, get out.
And less is more. Absolutely right.
One of the things I do is I don't announce every single ball out of bounds. It's fairly obvious when the ball's on the offensive side and it's knocked out of bounds in the same possession. So I will not say Marquette basketball every single time, only on change of possession. So I actively look for things not to say in order to allow the fans to not be oversaturated with my voice and to be more able to hear the game day hosts, the sound effects, the music, the player clips, and all the other elements. So I try to minimize as much as possible.
And yet, when you walk in and hear you introduce yourself and your courtside, there's a presence about it, which I absolutely love. And apparently so do the fans, because you just got a basketball presented to you for announcing 500 games.
There it is.
There it is, live on YouTube and us streaming on x.com/@WI Sports Radio as well. I was told there would be no math, Mike, but that's a couple, 2-3 years here that you've been doing this. How long has it been?
It's my 22nd season doing men's games and my 16th season doing women's games. And someone had asked me last season how many had I done, and I was embarrassed to say I don't know. And so I had to go back into all my records and really compile the number. And when it came to 499 at the conclusion of last season, I thought it was an interesting stat and sent a note to Brian Begley, who is the producer that you mentioned, who puts the whole show together at Fiserv Forum. And I was surprised that they made the presentation. I thought it was just an interesting stat. I didn't really do it to self-aggrandize. It was more to answer a question that a fan had about how many games had I actually called. So when I'm sitting doing a halftime or a first half break and I see the mascot in front of me, I said, "Hey, Iggy," and that wasn't unprecedented. But then when he stood up and presented me with the basketball, it was an incredible surprise and a great honor to be involved with the alma mater for all of those games and all of those years. Mike,
it's obviously the majority of the people that know you for what you do with Marquette. I would love to say that in the second is bowling, but it might be your selfies are in second place. We had someone that texted in to the show when we announced that you were coming on, and they said, that guy takes silly selfies. And right there's the pose. I just got to know, like, where did this come from that in any time you're posting a photo saying, like, excited to call another game, or I've seen you in the airport or wherever it is, you're making this face?
Yeah, it's my mom. When my brother and I grew up, back when we had film and cameras. Remember that, kids? Film. And they'd make us pose for photos at family gatherings and other things. And my brother and I just, couldn't take anymore. And we'd tease my mom and accuse her of not having film in the camera and say, "Come on, Mom, there's no film in there." And so both of us would just kind of look off into space and do the look. And so that just kind of evolved into, I think I was at the airport one day and I mistook a photo and somebody laughed. So it's just been a thing of public figures in the day of social media that post for all these photos. I thought, just look stupid every time that is possible. And it's funny how many people have picked up on it, including PBA Hall of Famer Pete Weber. It's a big favorite of his. And I just got a photo of him and Norm Duke at Mount Rushmore looking up. And
I want to see that photo so bad.
Yeah. It's
incredible.
It's a good one.
Mike Jakubowski, the public address announcer for Marquette basketball, joining us here on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. Josh is a huge bowler, and I know that there's a little bit to do with a very microphone in front of our mouth and professional bowling as well. Tell us about that.
Oh, it's been an incredible ride. As we mentioned about Doug Gottlieb, I've had 3 or 4 jobs in my career. I worked for 10 years with the Milwaukee Brewers in their scoreboard department. I worked for the United States Bowling Congress, which used to be out on 76th Street and has since moved to Arlington. And I've worked for the Professional Bowlers Association under the tutelage of PBA Commissioner Tom Clark. And that has taken me from online broadcasting of PBA events. I've served as the play-by-play announcer on ESPN for 3 seasons. And I've watched the PBA go from the old days of ABC to ESPN to Fox, and now with a new deal with CW, which starts in February. So I've served in online broadcasting and on air broadcasting, and now I serve as a public address announcer, DJ, crowd organizer for PBA events. So you'll find me in the background of events. And bowling has always been a passion and a ton of fun. And we will resume our schedule coming up. Look for us on Sundays coming up in February on CW.
Yeah, I've seen you. I've been fortunate enough to be able to do a little bit of media at some of the PBA events when they've been in town here in Milwaukee, and seeing you get the crowd ready to go, and it's a little bit different because you see, I like to say that's where I see Mike in his element. Maybe he just has multiple elements, but he's out there. He's got a microphone. He's talking to the crowd. He's getting everyone warmed up. And then he's hiding still with the microphone. And so it's almost like, wait, where's Mike J now? Oh, there he is. He's over there. And now he's hiding over there, like literally in the shadows. But then he'll pop out and be like, come on, folks, let's hear you about that one. And then right back in the shadows. And it's great. And to just see everything you've done for the sport of bowling as well, because obviously growing up here in Milwaukee, bowling's very important to us. And I love what you've been able to give back to the game.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I grew up with it. And we basically invented public address announcing for bowling. So it's a combination of getting the crowd ready for television. And then it's also letting people know what's going on. It's announcing intermittent scores. It's announcing players. It's doing different things so that the crowd is engaged and aware of what's happening, who's in the next match, and other various things. And then as we do at Fiserv Forum for Marquette games, I'm also out there giving away T-shirts, answering trivia questions, and doing all manner of things. And so my aunts used to say, how do you get all these great jobs? And I just say, I'm the most famous person you've never heard of. And to take it across all the things that I grew up with, Marquette basketball, Milwaukee Brewers baseball, and being involved with professional bowling, to put all of that together into a career has been an amazing experience. And it's allowed me to participate in all of the things that I grew up loving as a kid.
And you're nailing it. He's absolutely nailing it.
Yes, you
Follow
are.
along and see those selfies that we were talking about on Twitter at MikeJ_ on the mic. He's not frozen, ladies and gentlemen, on the live stream.
I love it. I love it.
Mike, we appreciate you, man. Good luck tonight. We are Marquette at home against the Southern Jaguars tonight at Fiserv, 7:00.
Yeah, the next 500 games. We'll see you out there. And as we always say at the end of every Marquette game, be nice.
Love it.
Nice indeed. I love that.
Thanks, Mike.
Wisconsin Sports Radio Network guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law, one call, that's all. Mike Jakubowski from Marquette basketball and professional bowling, and like probably 3 or 4 jobs that he didn't mention to us. We see you, Mike. We appreciate you, and we'll chat soon.
All right,
Jakubowski, ladies and gentlemen, he's outstanding.
Yeah, man, I love too that the selfie story too, tying back to his mom. It's
and
awesome.
he's so right. We really, when we're public address announcers, the majority of us, I cannot speak for all of us, unfortunately, the majority of us do not want to be seen, heard, talked to. It's not about us.
Yeah,
it's really, really not. And if there are public address announcers that unfortunately make it about themselves, and that sucks. Now, it's really about helping the arena or wherever the public address announcing is happening experience the top level of joy that they possibly can. And that is also important to get wins.
True.
And that it makes it a lot easier. I can tell you that.
I bet.
From firsthand experience. Not to say that they're not going to turn it around, because I think they are at GB. And I am super jacked for my guy, Tony, that is now the public address announcer at UWGB men's basketball games. A deserved man. He'll do a great job. What's Up, Wisconsin is next on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. This is Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
Hey, it's Josh Albrecht here from my friends at Henry Flock's Steakhouse in West Allis. Henry Flock's is always introducing new items like their calamari, seasoned perfectly and served with house-made vodka sauce. Speaking of that vodka sauce, you got to try the shrimp and scallop pasta topped with Parmesan. It is so good. And don't forget about their incredible drinks like the Ruby Slipper or your classic Supper Club favorites like a Pink Squirrel or Orange Dreamsicle ice cream drink. Whether it's an exceptional steak or something different, there's always an amazing meal waiting for you at Henry Flock's Steakhouse. It's so much more than just a steak place.
Wisconsin, in your world. What's up, Wisconsin, in our world? It's What's Up, Wisconsin on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh. Your mic wasn't on. That was hilarious.
Did you not hear that?
No.
Oh, that is weird.
What's up?
What's up?
What's up? What's up tonight? Marquette basketball home at the Fiserv. We just talked to Mike Jakubowski, the PA guy for Marquette women's and Marquette men's basketball. The men play at home tonight at the Fiserv, the Southern Jaguars, 7 p.m. Fiserv Forum. There is also a particular volleyball team playing tonight. If you have never sat and watched a Wisconsin volleyball game, you get the chance to do so tonight, and I highly recommend you do.
Agreed.
Wisconsin plays at home at the Fieldhouse against number 22 Minnesota. It's on FS1 tonight, starting at 7 o'clock. You guys sit down and watch one of these games. It is so amazing. It has so much energy, and they're really, really good.
Yeah, it's also stress-inducing. Whether it was, me watching the Badgers when they had their big runs to a championship and everything a few years back, or when I was in school at Wichita State. And, they also had a pretty good volleyball program, and we would, as students, we would go and watch the games. But, man, just the back and forth and the stress of the way that those games work, it's a lot of fun to watch.
What are you doing tonight?
It's bowling night for me.
Oh,
got
are you
league
actually
tonight.
bowling?
Yeah, I got league tonight.
Oh.
Yep. Hopefully got some good scores to report tomorrow.
I am recording the Inside Wisconsin podcast today. If you've ever heard of them, possibly, Cheesehead TV, Aaron Nagler and Corey Benke.
I have heard of them.
What you don't know is what else Corey Benke does.
I actually do, but I'm excited for everyone else
There's
to.
a lot of people that don't, and it is impressive work. Here's a Green Bay guy that co-founded Cheesehead TV, but you wouldn't believe what he's got his fingers in. So join us tomorrow. The latest and greatest Inside Wisconsin podcast will come out wherever you listen to podcasts and on youtube.com/Inside Wisconsin. Corey Benke from Cheesehead TV /LiveX will be the guest. Our gratitude and thanks to Doug Gottlieb, to Mike Jakubowski, and to somewhere in Iowa, Jeff Levering, for explaining to us what in God's green earth is arbitration and why do the Brewers appear to suck at it.
I did ask him before we put him on air. He was like, I'm somewhere in Iowa. I said, are you on I-80? He was like, yep. And I was like, I know that stretch. I had to drive that when I went down to Wichita for school. Took the car down, 12-hour drive. He spent a lot of it on I-80. I said, make sure to stop at the world's largest truck stop. It's a thing of beauty, and you need that break when you're making that drive.
Did he know what you were talking about?
He did. He was like, I don't think I'm there yet. It's coming up, though.
My family and I went for, I believe it was a Labor Day weekend, a long Labor Day weekend to Mount Rushmore. And we drove that stretch of South Dakota. Whoa.
Yeah. Yep.
Flat.
Fun one?
It was a great trip. But that ride, this is the way road trips go. The way there, super excited. Can't wait to see what we're going to see. Oh, we get to stop at the Wall Drug or whatever the thing is with is it Wall Drug? Is it South Dakota Wall Drug or whatever that little town is? We stopped to see a giant Jolly Green Giant at some spot in Minnesota, I think it was. But can I tell you that ride home after what is an awesome little family vacay staying in the mountains in South Dakota?
Not a fun drive?
Real flat.
Yeah. I bet.
Really flat.
I bet.
If you've never done that, by the way, do it.
Sure haven't.
I mean, I'm not encouraging you to leave the state of Wisconsin because that would be
kind of sounds
my
like
brand.
you are, but
Well, but that was a worthy road trip. It was a real great time. The Needles Highway in the mountains out there, and just all the things that you can see. It was awesome.
I might go take a Mike J selfie in front of the
Mount Rushmore.
God,
have you seen it? You've never been out there?
Haven't been out there.
It's
no.
worth it. Once you see Mount Rushmore, though, you're like, all right, there it is.
Hey, there it is.
And I'm good. The history is insane, though. All right. Our thanks to Jeff, to Mike, and to Doug Gottlieb for joining us on the show today. Join us tomorrow. 1265 wakes back up. It's a little bit of a weird schedule for those guys as they get ready for Monday Night Football. We'll do it again tomorrow here on Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor and Josh.
Because we're not done yet.